What were you listening to earlier? Blueberry Yum Yum?
Oh, yeah. Little Luda.
Luda. Speaking man, I got to tell this story real quick. So we had my baby shower a couple weeks back when you were in Casper. And my mom is seeing this new fella, and Ludacris is coming to Shine Frontier Days. So immediately, like 10 minutes into the baby shower, she's like, so me and, I'm not going to say his name, but me and Billy Bob, we'll call him, we almost broke up because of Ludacris. I said, what the hell? What are you talking about? And she's like, well, he wants to go to Ludacris. And I don't even know who Ludacris is. And so me and my buddy Hayden start singing old Ludacris songs. She's like, I don't know what you're saying. I was like, Mom, come on. Luda. Anyway.
Did you hit her with Splash Waterfalls?
No, we didn't go that deep, but roll out, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah. He's doing those State Farm commercials or something now.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. The older generation don't know who Luda is. Anyway, we do know who Luda is, and we do also know what the best dirt racing podcast in the state of Colorado is, because we're on it right now. So everybody, welcome to it. Episode 9. Look at the banner scrolling if I can find my mouse. Episode 9 of this year podcast this year, Wingin' It, figuratively and literally. Actually, just kidding. Blair and I don't wing it at all. We're very prepared, and we're very, very scholar about it. But yeah, welcome to the show. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Not as much local racing to go through, but we're going to dive into that. Go over some dirt national scene. Blair's got some Slang Explained for us coming up, and we got a special guest announcement at the end of this one, and we also have a giveaway. So stay tuned for that. But introductions: Brandon Hall, creator of Scrubbin' Tires Media and co-host of the Throwin Sliders podcast, and retired 3BH outlaw kart driver. And I'll pass to Mr. Cooper.
Right on. I'm Blair Cooper, mediocre sprint car driver, podcast host now by default, I think, as we get into this.
Yes.
Just always glad to be here. So looking forward to another week where everybody's kind of in the thick of all the stuff going on right now. It's been wild.
Absolutely. And it looks like you're buying your wife tickets to Luda. You just don't know it yet, she says.
No, I'm absolutely not.
Are you're gonna make the trek up to Cheyenne, huh?
No.
Okay. And power goes out in Blair's house, and that's right.
She loves concerts, and I don't have any time for that. Not in the summer.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. But yeah, welcome back, everyone. Go ahead and like, tag, share this. Tell your friends, have them hop on. He's coming to Pueblo too. Look at that. But yeah, let's get some more viewership on here tonight, and let's have a good time. So without further ado, we're going to spoil you a little bit right off the get-go, or I guess entertain the idea of spoiling you. So obviously this year, Scrubbin' Tires Media, Hitting the Chip podcast, and Throwin Sliders podcast are brought to you by the presenting partner, Racing Rowdy Ranch. Blair's got a cap. I got a cap. You see them all in the background behind me. They're yours if you want them. You guys know what to do. www.racingrowdyranch.com. Support those who support racing. That's what this is all about. So we'll play the ad, and then we're going to have a little fun and do a little giveaway and show you some of the merch. So without further ado, here we go.
Racing Rowdy Ranch was created with one person, one adjective, and one place in mind: the blue-collar racer and the crew behind the scenes. A word that can describe these racers and crews and how they live. Finally, a place where the straightaways and turns are these racers' pastures and hills, all bordered by concrete walls that could share more than their fair share of memories, even after several coats of paint. We are racing. We live rowdy, and we long to be at the ranch, riding for the brand. An apparel company designed to showcase just that, push the limits every day, and be proud of who we are. Visit www.racingrowdyranch.com now to order yours today. Saddle up, strap in, and live rowdy. Proud presenting partner of Scrubbin' Tires Media, Throwin Sliders, and Hitting the Chip podcasts.
Well, living rowdy is exactly right. That's the adage there. So we're going to live a little bit rowdy tonight. So all of you listening in, watching, drop what you're doing, because you might have a chance to win a free Racing Rowdy Ranch hat. So with that, I don't know, Blair, what's kind of been your favorite? We got a couple here. Show them off to the audience. We got the old Rowdy Light. We got the Ranchier tire. We got the Rowdy Auto parts, and we got the old Buckskin, the Rowdy original. I don't know, what's your favorite? I got one more that I'm not going to show. I think we talked about it in the pre-show, but I'll let you decide. It's on Blair tonight.
Yeah, I like the Hoosier style. Just
You
because.
do?
Yeah, I do. I like them all. You know me. If I could take the whole lot, but I've already got a few. I'm collecting.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep it OG. You got an OG hat on. We call that one the Trailblazer. So everybody listening, this could be yours. It's a Upung 6006 hat with the Trailblazer patch on it. You've seen Blair wear it. You've seen me wear it on that camo hat that I have. So here's what you got to do. I'm going to create a post either tonight or in the morning for a free giveaway on the Racing Rowdy Ranch Facebook and Instagram site. Okay, there's step number one. To be entered into this, and thank you to your wife for going through us with this pre-show. Sure. You're going to like the Racing Rowdy Ranch social media post. Okay. Then you're going to go follow the page. So there's step 2. Step 3, comment RRR in the comments of that giveaway post. That signifies you've done all 3. Okay. And then we're going to put your name into a random wheel generator. Okay. So give you all week, tell your friends, you can enter, whatever you got to do. And then Blair's going to tell us at the end of the show who our special guest is for next week, the 17th of June. And that guest is going to go ahead and pick the winner. So Blair and I will give the winner to he or she, whoever the guest is next week, that you're going to find out at the end of the show. And you're going to be the proud new owner and wearer of a Racing Rowdy Ranch Trailblazer hat, brought to you by Racing Rowdy Ranch. So there you go. Blair, you are disqualified from the entry. Just kidding.
To beat the ladies off with those.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, happy to have Racing Rowdy Ranch as our presenting partner, trying to grow the brand, obviously get the name out there. So if you want a hat and you want it for free, now's your chance. Get on there and tell your friends, like it, share it, comment. And if you need the instructions again, just press rewind once we're done and go from there. So anyway, with that being said, we like freebies. Everybody loves a good freebie. So make sure you go do that. We're going to kick off tonight's episode with the little Dirt Natty recap. So we had the High Limit Series racing a couple times, and then we had the World of Outlaws sprint cars as well. So unfortunately, I was telling Blair in the pre-show, didn't have a lot of time to watch any of the high limit stuff this weekend, but lo and behold, they're at Eagle Raceway tomorrow night. Everybody saw Mr. Booback, Scrub and Tires Media alumni, show up there last year. It's just cool to see local guys going out there. So without going into that too much, they raced on the 7th, which is Friday. The Race Rudine Foundation race number 1 at I-70 Speedway in Missouri. The first night didn't pay out anything. I'll quickly go through the rundown, get into night number 2 because that's when the pay window opens. So your quick time winner was Brian Brown. TJ Ford Heat 1 winner was Corey Day. DMI Heat winner 2 was Zeb Wise. BR Motorsports Heat 3 winner was Brad Sweet. FK Rodden's Dash winner was Brian Brown. And the B main had a lot of cars show up. They had a B main was Hunter Schoenberg. And in the feature itself, the fastest lap award went to Chase Randall. The hard charger went to Mr. Tanner Thorson, all the way up 23rd to 11th in a 25 lap feature. So that's hauling his what's in a wheelbarrow. Lap leaders, you had Mr. Randall leading 1 through 19, and then Mr. Corey Day took over from there to lead the last 5-6 laps. So with that, Corey Day took first, Brad Sweet second, and the 2KS of Chase Randall, who is not a regular series regular, if I said that correctly, a regular, we'll just call him a regular. So cool to see kind of the local guys get in there and show their speed. Fast forwarding a day ahead to the 8th of June, this past Saturday. Same thing, Race Rudine Foundation race number 2 at I-70, $26,000 to win this one.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, definitely good. Honestly, kind of flip-flop. Like you think you would see the same, the guys up there, Corey Day, Brad Sweet, but you really didn't, which is weird. And maybe Blair can attest that in our segment later on. Slang explained why that could be. Maybe it was track conditions, temperature, all that good stuff. But quick time on Saturday went to the 24 of Rico Abreu, as well as TJ Ford's heat number 1. DMI heat number 2 is Mr. Player's favorite driver, Justin Peck. BR Motorsports heat 3 went to the law firm Parker Price Miller. And your dash winner went to Rico Abreu, no surprise. And then in the feature, Mr. Abreu also laid down the quickest lap, which is honestly about 4/10 slower than qualifying. So that was kind of interesting to see that it slowed down almost a half a second. Sometimes it does, sometimes it gets faster. But the hard charger in that one was Itron Denton. You must be a local. It went from 18th to 10th, so up 8 spots. And Mr. Abreu, not much to talk about, led all 30 laps. So from white to checkered. Second place was the 39M of Anthony Macri. And third place, rounding out your podium, was the law firm, the 9P of Parker Price Miller. Another tidbit cool from this race, let me get it right. Race, and I might be butchering that, might be Race, Rudine Foundation race. They've done it for, I think, 6 years running now at that track, not with the high limits because it's only 2 years old. But Rico is the first repeat winner in the 6-year history of that. So kind of cool. I don't recall the year that he won it prior, but and I'll tell you, when Rico's on, he's on. So their next race, like I mentioned, is the player's going to like this one, the Bikini Zone Eagle Nationals, excuse me.
Might have to take the 360 out there for that one, just see what it's all about. So.
Oh, it's only a 10-hour drive, so let's do it. But that's midweek money series race number 7 for them. As I mentioned, Eagle, Nebraska, $50,000 to win on a Tuesday night. So no chump change there. Then they're off for a week, and then they hit it pretty hard. They go to Lake Ozark Speedway in Missouri on the 26th, the 28th. They go to Lucas Oil for a 2-night event in Missouri. So they're kind of doing a Midwest kind of tour, if you will. And then they round out. What's that?
That should be pretty good racing in there. That Lake of the Ozarks it's real hit or miss. I've seen some guys tear some shit up, but if it's
right,
it's good.
And they've been
pretty good track.
Yeah, I've been watching obviously pretty habitually lately, except for this last weekend, and they've really, the first couple of nights, like when we were in Fort Worth and stuff, they tore some stuff up, but other than that, a few spins or broken part here, they've really kept it clean, which is good to see. But yeah, then the 29th, they go back for the doubleheader at Lucas Oil, and that'll be $25K to win for the high limit sprint car series. So that's it for them. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink sprint cars. They were at River City Speedway in North Dakota, don't you know, on the 7th for the World of Outlaws Don Mac Classic, $12K to win. Quick time went to the 41 of Carson Macedo. Heat 1 winner, again, 41 of Carson Macedo. Heat 2 went to the 23 of Garrett Williamson. Heat 3 went to the 17 of Sheldon Hodenshield. And Heat 4 went to the 0 of Nick, I'm going to butcher this, Omdahl. They did not have enough. Yeah, you have?
No, I haven't, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some new cats. Cool. I don't know if, they didn't have enough for a C-main. So the 18 of Giovanni Selzi was your dash winner, and the last chance showdown winner was a 3Z of Brock Zierfoss. Into the feature, it was a 40-lap feature. Lap leaders, Sheldon Hodenshield led 2 of those laps, and then Gio took it from there and led 38 of the laps. So he took home gold, followed by the 17 of Sheldon Hodenshield in second. And I think we're going to share a picture later of this. I don't know. He's a no-name, but the 15 of Donnie Schatz took third. And your KSC hard charger of that one was Buddy Kofoid in up 18 spots in 40 laps. Then they were back in the same area, not the same track, on the Saturday. The World of Outlaws Big Ol' Showdown was what this one was titled, at Ogilvie Raceway. Some of these names, man, I don't know how the hell they came up with them, but that's in Minnesota. So World of Outlaws traveling up to the Great White North. That one was $12K to win. This one, you did see some of the familiar foe from Friday night. Quick time went to the 17 of Sheldon Hodenshield. Heat 1, same person. Heat 2, 18 Gio Selzi. Heat 3, 3Z of Brock Zierfoss. Didn't have enough for 4 heats or a C main, so they went to the dash. 41, Carson Macedo took that one. And the last chance showdown winner was the 14T of Brooke Tatnell. Again, never heard of he or she. I think it was a she, to be honest.
I'm not
Brooke?
sure on that. I know there's a Brooke that's fast. I think he's Australian. That's
Okay.
a guy, but I'm not.
Usually you see, it's Brooke with an E. So that's, anyway, Aussie's doing differently out there.
Yeah, down under.
Yeah, down under. Lap leaders, kind of the same thing. Hodenshield led one, and that was the only one that mattered. That was the checkered flag or the white flag lap. But Cole Macedo, or Carson Macedo, excuse me, led the 29 prior to that. So last lap pass, you love to see that. So Hodenshield won it. Carson took second. And Buddy Kofoid took third, and your KSC hard charger went to Garrett Williamson, up 7 spots. Their next race is the 14th, which is Saturday. World of Outlaws Premier Chevy Dealers Clash at Knoxville Raceway. So obviously everyone knows that Speedway up there or over there. 12K to win that one, and then it's a double header, the 14th and 15th. Case Construction late models, they didn't run this past week or weekend. Their next one is the 20th at Thunderhill Raceway in Tennessee. It's going to be 10K to win. And then a day later, they make the trek out east, or I guess not really east, state away at Ponderosa Speedway in Kentucky for 15K to win. So, no, that was a lot, but we love watching the national scene and keeping up with those guys because they are the best drivers in the world for sure, in my opinion, and I'm sure Blair's opinion too. So
I don't know if you caught that. Did you see? I saw. I thought it was pretty amazing. I don't know if it was. They didn't show whether it was an open red. I'm guessing it was open red, and they or how that exactly works. I got to do a little research. But David Gravel got tossed. They all bunched up there at the start on River City. Well, anyway, that car would look trash, and they had it back together brand new before they restarted.
I didn't. Was that at which race was that?
River Cities, I think. So that was probably a couple days before. But
okay, yeah. No, I've seen a lot of maybe it's my algorithm, but a lot of David Gravel on my page for some reason.
Yeah, he doing a lot of social media stuff. But and you had mentioned Chase Randall. Did you see that fire he had?
Yes, on Instagram, yeah,
at Knoxville.
Yeah,
just poof when it goes up.
Yeah,
I thought that's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it's not. I hate when those sprint cars catch on fire because it didn't. High Limit implemented the same fire extinguisher and safety crew that World of Outlaws has, which I think was obviously good because it's the same equipment, same cars. So I know that was a big topic in the off season that I heard about. So
yeah, and everybody's got to have a fire bottle now. So those are at least it's something. But
how do you feel about that? Let's take a minute for that.
I like that they make it mandatory so everybody has to run it. That way you don't have to worry about the weight or anything else. And shit, I mean, at the end of the day, I'd rather not burn. So, I don't know. I know guys they want to cut every ounce and stuff like that. But a fireball, I think mine weighs, it's one of the Lifeline fireballs. It probably weighs 4 pounds or something. It's like that and the Halo, something like that. If I'm going to do this for as long as I can keep racing, then I don't know. I like it. I would rather, especially some of the tracks we go to, we don't have the fire safety that the Outlaws or High Limit have. And I've been on, I've had fire in or on the car 3 times. Luckily, I've just never had it in the cockpit burning me. But even that, you will pucker your butt when you see flame and your feet are soaked in fuel or oil. So I'm glad they did that, honestly. Personally.
Yeah. No, it's a good point too at a local level because you don't have the safety crews like you mentioned that the top premier guys do. So
I mean, and those guys try. It's not like they're slouches, but sometimes it's just, man, you even saw at Knoxville last year with Macedo that they had the best crew probably in any racing, and they could not get that car out.
Well, and two, I mean, the expense that you're asking your local EMS crew or fire crew to carry those, I can't even remember, they're purple. I can't remember the fire extinguisher, but those are not cheap. And then if you do have to disperse it, I mean, where's that money coming from? Obviously the track, the promoter's pocket. So
but also if you watch someone burn inside a race car, you wish you spent the money.
That would be a really unfortunate thing to have to go through. So anyway, that was your Dirt Natty weekend recap and look ahead. Obviously, as we've hammered on about 15 times now. If you have Flow Racing, go check out the high limit race tomorrow, Eagle, Nebraska. Hot laps probably start around 4 or 5. I can't confirm that since it's in mountain time. Usually they start around 4 or 5. So definitely go check that out while you're watching the Hit and the Chip podcast, because it probably will not be over by the time they throw the checkers in the feature for that one. So with that, I'm going to pass to Mr. Blair. He's going to lead us off with some Dirt and CO weekend recap, starting with one of the 2 tracks that ran this weekend with Honor Speedway.
Yeah, Brandon and I talked a little bit about this. It really wasn't much going on there. We've got sport compacts and dwarf cars, and it looked like a 2-car race for the dwarf car feature, and it was won by the number 87.
Hey, I shouldn't laugh. That was me all last season, so I get it.
Yeah, but so car counts, obviously, I think that was centered around the demo derby, but then they also had sport compacts. Brayson Siegel, he got his, I believe that's his first win in them.
I believe so, yeah. Congrats.
Nelia Graham and Martin Adams. So that's it there. But I was just we were talking earlier before we got on. I don't know what it is. And if you're a race fan and you're watching this, it probably does the same thing to you. But I know they struggle to get fans in the seats for a regular weekly show. But if you have a demolition derby or monster trucks, that place is sold out. And I don't know, that chaps my ass. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. And another thing, if there's any Honor Speedway promoters, track officials, anybody listening, when you post the dwarf cars results and you just give us the number, we can say those numbers, but it does help when we have a driver's name. So I don't know if they forgot that or what happened, but we like to be able to announce drivers' names and not just their car numbers, because there's thousands of car numbers in the state of Colorado. So back to Blair's point. I did see the photo that Honor Speedway put out great for Honor. I would imagine they sold it out or close. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you got your demo derby fans, and I'm a fan. Like I wouldn't go drive cross country to see one per se, but if I'm around and I'm not doing something, and I'll go out and watch it. But it's just one of those things that, monster trucks, I can see that more as like a father son, type of deal. Father's Day, I think CNS does it on Father's Day, which totally makes sense. Mm-hmm. But how in the world? Why? So there are people in Pueblo that are willing to spend a little bit of money, come out to the racetrack, support it. How can we get those asses in the seat every single week, whether it's micro sprints, sprint cars, A mods, sport compacts, whatever you got? How do we? And it's an open-ended question. How do we? They're there, but how do we get them? Do they just not like racing and they just want to see carnage?
I'm thinking that's probably a lot of it. But if you want to see real carnage, you get some high-speed cars out there. You get your bang for your buck, which as racers we hate to see. But I don't know. And I think there's always usually a pretty good purse for that kind of stuff. And I don't know if it's a sponsorship. People can build their cars and bring the entire family. But I don't know. As a racer, I always just kind of like, I don't know. Like I said, I used to love monster trucks as a kid. So that one makes more sense to me. But the demo derby's packing places out versus actual racing. It's fun, but it always is kind of shocking to me that you can sell a place out for that. And then on your weekly show, even if you have some decent classes and car counts, it's like a fourth of that. I don't know. It always bugged me.
Yeah. Well, I know dating back to the Scrubbing Tires podcast last year before we, split off, I think there was some controversy of, well, why don't you keep the monster truck show, do it on a Sunday, and keep the regular series, on a Saturday or Friday, whatever you got to do. So you still get a week of racing in, you don't got to pause or have a bye week. And I see what Honor tried to do there with running sport compacts, dwarfs, and we've got the farm trucks, which they didn't post the results for that. But I see what you're trying to do there. But why don't you just say, all right, 360 sprint cars, it's you all night, and then at the end, demo derby. Then you got all these fans that are either coming out for sprint cars or demo derby, and they're going to get, their cake and eat it too. And you're going to see some badass sprint cars all night long. And then, oh, by the way, the cherry on top is cars, crushing each other, something like that.
Sure. Right. Well, we've talked about that. What generally I think for even these local tracks, what puts asses in the seats is, there's 3 or 4 divisions that people really go to watch. The rest of it, your support classes and everything. That's where it goes. But whether it was a sprint car, a midget, late models, you put up some purse, you take a little bit of that money and really double up on it, So I don't know. And that's everywhere. We see that at a lot of tracks, and it's not like it's just Pueblo. Those demo derbies crush at the fair and everything, but
yeah,
and
I think
tickets aren't cheap.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, there, and I'm not taking away if there's any demo derbyers
Sure.
listening. It takes, shit. I've helped build a demo derby car before. I know the type of effort and the money that goes into it, but I just think you're taking away from because the demo derby guys, if you're lucky and you have, enough funds to build one car all year long, you might only get 2 demo derbies a year, whereas Blair is spending almost 10K, 6 figures on his whole race season. Granted, it's not just at Honor, and I know we're picking on Honor, but we're just talking.
Yeah, it's not specific.
Right. So you're taking away a weekend from a local racer that races week in, week out throughout the state or the region, just to put on a demo derby that you could have pushed to Sunday, still get asses in the seats, sell it out, whatever you're going to do, sell beer and hot dogs and whatnot. But it just, it's weird to see, like you said, to see that amount of crowd just for a demo. And like you said, to that point, I mean, Sport Compacts, it's a great deal that they got going on down there for the youngsters, and cool to see Brayson get up there and get a win. And then you had, I mean, they only posted the 2 Dorf cars. So I don't know if there's more, if they just, had a blip on social or what, but
sure,
it's just, because Dorf cars, I mean, they're not cheap either. So they're
good racing if you get a herd.
Right. So they kind of more or less wasted their time to me. But anyway, that's my 2 cents.
The big rookies too, getting some laps in and putting on a little bit, people could see what they are. So, I mean, that part of it's cool, but I don't know. I think that always comes back. I just go to a lot of these different tracks, and I thought, Casper, when we went there, they had 4 classes, and people are still writing, and even the hot dog truck, I don't know if he'd never seen him or he just said how unbelievably fast it was. And all the people sitting down in turn 1 and 2 honking and waving, and when we're under red flag talking to you, and so people just need exposure to this stuff. But you kind of have to, I mean, it always comes back to this. We've been harping on it, is one purse brings car counts. Counts, when people know there's money, they show up because they know there's some people show up to see carnage, even with the racing. I mean, that's Daytona or any of the NASCAR stuff. But then it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you got good prep, a good track, good racing, big purse, car counts are up, puts asses in the seats.
Yep.
So I don't know. I just always, that kind of just has bugged me, the money that you put in and everything. And then you see a junkyard cars go out and fill the places up.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a good topic you brought up too. You said a lot of bigs there. I think big tits too in the stands would get some. Big
tits, big asses. Bring back trophy girls with big
asses. There we go. Bring back it all, and we'll get asses in the stands. Oh yeah, you're gonna get a. Does she have a broom handle?
Probably. Yeah, she's downstairs, so I'll be. She'll probably be waiting at the door when I come out of here. But that's why I keep her on one side. Even a trophy girl, she wouldn't care. We know who.
There you go. Hopefully. Hey, shout out to there we go. Keaton, he'll be back this weekend. Long time no see on the old dirt
guy's
track.
motorback. I actually talked to him today, so he'll be ready to rock.
Good.
Hopefully the Dwarf cars, they had some pretty good car counts building back up, so
yeah,
it's fun to watch for sure.
Definitely. All right, the other track that ran this past, what are we at, Saturday the 8th, El Paso County down there in Calhoun, Fan Appreciation Night featuring lightning sprints, not spritz, now 600 stock cars, sport mods, hobby stocks, compacts, warriors, and the Dorfs. And that's just on their schedule. So we'll see. Looks like they had a couple more classes show up, not on the schedule. So anyway, lead us off in the IMCA Sport Mods. Your feature winner was the 22S of Dave, stock right there from Pueblo. They had quite a bit show up too, enough for 2 heat races. Looks like they had 9 sport mods show up. Good car count. Into the IMCA stock cars. Looks like he had 8 start the feature, and the 16C of Cameron O'Lear from Calhoun, making the long drive out to El Paso County to get that win. In your hobby stocks, 7 of them showed up. The 54 of Jacob Worthington from Falcon took the checkers in that one. Into your IMCA Sport Compacts, the 16 of Leanne O'Lear from Boone, Colorado, took home checkers there. In your A-Class Micros, you had the 11S of Shyla Ernst from Peyton, taking home the checkers there. Shout out to Justin Stoles and the 23J for taking home silver. And it looks like they had 10 of them show up with 4 DNFs in the feature. So unfortunate to see. In your restricted micros, you had 4 show up, and pulling double duty was the 11S of Shayla Ernst from Peyton, taking home the checkers in that one as well. And in your lightning sprints, had 8 show up, 2 DNFs, but the 21B of BJ Sawyer from Loveland making the trek down there to take home the checkers. And looks like you had some a lot of the local drivers that we see week in, week out battling tires out there. In the Warriors, 54 of Jacob Worthington taking home another checkered flag in your Warrior division from Falcon. And I believe that was all. This is the Dorf cars results are pending. So I've always been curious, maybe you know this, Blair, and Keaton's listening too, but not Dorf car specific, but what in the hell does pending mean? Does that mean there was why are the results not posted? Yeah, something interesting. Yeah, that was your El Paso County weekend review for the Dirt and CO. They're next up June 22nd. It's the URSS Sprint Car Spring Nationals with stock cars, sport mods, hobby stocks, compacts, and Warriors out there. So that's what we got. None of the other local tracks, as we said, ran this past weekend. So I guess before we get into Slang Explain, let's take a moment. Blair and I have a bone to pick with all the viewers and listeners of the Throwin Sliders podcast here. We're talking about revved up reactions specifically. So as you've seen the post the past couple of days, we want your engagement, much like you guys are in the chat. But we want you to call this phone number. It's a Google Voice number, not connected to Blair or I's phone. Goes straight to voicemail. We want to hear from you, whether it's a question, talking smack to Blair or I, whatever question about the show, question about anything racing related. Blair will try to answer because he's a lot smarter than I am when it comes to that. But the moral of the story is please call that number, 720-773-1273. Made it easy for you. If you have trouble remembering phone numbers and birthdays like I do, super easy. Call in any time of day or night. It goes straight to voicemail. Blair and I do not get it on our phones. We just see it in our Google Voice app, and it's free, completely free, and we want to engage with you guys. So if you're hearing this, if you're seeing this for the next time, which won't be next week when we have our guest on, but the week after, get those flowing in. We'll play them on air live and just cut up and have a good time. So again, 720-773-1273 for revved up reactions. Unfortunately, we didn't have any this week, so we'll skip on down to Slang Explained with Mr. Blair Cooper.
We'll do shit. We'll give marriage advice. Well, you name it.
Well, I don't know about that, but all right. Well,
whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I mean, so, some of the calls that you see around various podcasts and stuff, it's a really good way to interact with you viewers. And obviously this is why Blair and I do it. It's not for our own, personal sake. I can call Blair on the phone and we can talk racing all day long, but we want to give you something to be proud of, for one, in the state of Colorado and in the region. So call in, give us a shout. We'll, like I said, Blair will talk to you about anything, but might have to draw the line on some stuff, just depending on what you say.
You perverts.
Yeah, you perverts. Well, you draw that crowd, buddy. I've never seen so many random wild animals on the show until Blair got on. So
yeah,
of course.
Yep.
All right. What you got for us on Slang Explain? This is one of my new favorite topics.
Well, this has been going around. Brandon will pull up the picture. We were looking at this, but big point of contention with some guys in a lot of racetracks and series doing some different things. And this actually affected me this year. So if you see this picture of Donnie Schott's car here, wicker bills and dish versus flat wings. For those of you not that familiar with the sprint car, how the top wings work, you've got 25 square feet of board up there. And in the middle of that wing, it can either be dished, which just means it's got a concave in it and slants up towards the back of the wing, or you can have that wicker bill, a flat wing with a wicker bill. And what that really does is the more air you get on the wing, the dish is actually what I have. And a lot of places with the rules, you were able to run a dish with a wicker bill. And some places, they say that the wicker bill creates more drag and it's less efficient, but obviously it makes some downforce on the car. So what they've done is they are going down from a 2-inch. They use some places, pretty much the standard is a 2-inch back there. So it's right on the back trailing edge of the wing, and that just gathers air and then presses the car down. It holds air on the wing longer, creates a lot of disturbance. It actually disrupts the wing or the air on the cars behind you. So like the Outlaws and those guys have now, in all 410 racing, pretty much have went from a 2-inch down to a 1-inch in the attempt to make the racing better. It just takes a lot of load off the car. And apparently the drivers have been saying it has quite of an effect. But they are required to run the flat wing, to where, like when I first started, I could run the dish with a 1-inch wicker, and that seemed like the ticket. The car just made a ton of load, even on the short tracks. So obviously they're trying to get away. They've gotten away from that. I still run the dish. I had to take the wicker off. So even me personally, I'm trying to decide what's more efficient, works better, or even disrupts the guys behind you. It might come down to that. But I don't know. I love the dish with the wicker. But there's a couple tracks in Ohio that actually went the other way, and now they're letting you run a 3-inch wicker.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of just their own local stuff. I believe it's just Ohio, but man, I'd like to try the car, as the track slicks off. So usually through the night, you'll see if the track's really fast and heavy, they would come out with a 1-inch. And then as the track got slicker, a little bit less racy, you'd see guys step it up, but now they're limited to that 1-inch. So if you notice that on TV, you'll see that they're not quite as glued.
Right. I have a question on that. So kind of like what we talked about with that magical tire that we brought up a couple weeks back. Would it be beneficial to give you guys an option just based on track size and prep, so you could swap it out, from hot laps to feature?
Sure. And that's what they were doing before. So I think the problem is that if you give guys a shot in the main, the same thing with the tire, the soft tire is probably going to go on, but definitely with the wicker, there's really the only place I could see it. And you'd probably have to ask the guys that run a place like Port Royal or something with super long straightaways, or maybe a track with not as much banking. They're almost always going to pick that bigger wicker if they're allowed to. So I think them limiting them to the 1-inch, but it's amazing what a change that'll actually make on the car. Just an inch difference back there.
Yeah. We know an inch matters, Blair.
Every inch counts.
That's what I'm saying. In all honesty, or all seriousness, I should say, can you, and maybe you would experience this on a bigger track, more speed, more straightaway. Can you actually feel the difference behind a car? Like a bigger wicker? Okay.
Yeah, well, and I don't even know so much about the wicker. I haven't really, because by the time I came in, they had pretty much eliminated dish with wicker. So like when I went to a Dodge City or something, you just know the air gets so dirty right behind somebody that it actually pulls air off the nose wings. So I know if you have a bigger wicker, it's just that disturbance is going to be big. But there's also some engineering behind that for drag coefficients. That long straightaway, you're pulling a lot of weight down on the back of that wing. So you kind of have a fine line between how much grip and downforce you're trying to make versus how much is that actually slowing the car down, dragging the motor.
So would it be the same then? So obviously you can slide the wings forward or backward. Mm-hmm. So would that play a huge role in that too? So if you have the wing all the way back with that bigger wicker bill, is that almost like a even more advantage?
Yeah, it becomes a parachute. I mean, depending on the track, again, you get on those big half miles, so you won't see, like at the outlaw level, the 410, you won't see on a big fast track. Most of those guys will keep the wing maybe centered, but obviously you're always trying to start with the wing as far forward as possible, to get the car around at the least amount.
I did see, I think it was at Riverside, whichever high limit series race I watched last, Casey Kane, which shocked the shit out of me. He had that thing pulled back all the way on like lap 2. And I mean, I can't even remember where he finished, but that was just interesting to see. I don't know. It wasn't, I think it was in the heat race too. So it wasn't early on, trying to get downforce. But yeah, it's interesting to see because the more you watch him, you can say, oh, he's got his back or he's got his forward. Like you can just visually see it. Whereas a couple of years ago, before I kind of dove into dirt, it's like I couldn't tell you what he's doing in there or why he's doing it, but it's interesting.
Well, and you'd be amazed. Like, so if you hit the car tight on the setup, if you say you set it tight for the setup and you had your wing kind of based middle, say you knew the track was going to be pretty slick to start and you drive that wing forward, you can really feel it plant the front end and let the car rotate. But if you get it too tight and you have that wing back, you'll actually fight on some of those tracks getting it back forward. You know, now everybody's got the bigger sweet steering gear pump or the power steering pump and everything, bigger lines, so you can force them. But some of those high load straightaways, it's not a quick
I'm sure, man. Yeah, it was interesting to see at Callahan how you guys did that. I didn't know it was mechanically driven, so that's cool.
Yeah, the hydraulic lines and stuff, they're pretty strong. But yeah, it's a tricky, it's a fine line. You know, you get it too far in one direction and you're playing with it quite a bit. I try to just, if it's slicking off, you're working it all night if your car's not hit just right. But some guys play with it more than others.
Yeah, no doubt. That was good. I know I appreciate that, learning all about these damn things and all the various parts and pieces and what they do.
It's funny because the sprint car is so simple, but yet you take everything, put it together, and kind of like Spencer alluded to last week is you're not going to be perfect all night either way. The track changing. That was like even that video I posted. It's early on. I was able to drive off the left rear down on the bottom. And by the end of the night, there was a slim line of rubber and off the right rear trying to make the car work. So it's there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and to that point, I think when we were going through the Dirt Natty weekend recap with minus Rico Abreu getting quick time, winning his heat, and then winning the feature, leading all the laps, I might add, you don't rarely see that, quick time, leading in the feature, winning the feature. So it's just cool to see that the track changes so much throughout the night. You got to be wrenching on your car to try to keep up with it or get ahead of it, which is rare. But yeah, the higher up you go, I feel like the harder it is in sprint car racing. Sounds like a single verse relationship with guys. Play it with. Jesus. We got to put that one on the screen, Scotty. Just happened to catch that out of the peripheral vision over here. Oh,
Scotty, wild boy.
Good stuff. All right, we're going to save the other comment for, I guess it would be 2 weeks after we have our guest, or did you have another one lined up?
What's that?
For Slang Explained.
Oh, yeah, we'll save that one. Yeah, that's probably good. That's my knowledge is so limited that these guys, a lot of them that are technical dudes probably laugh at me, but I've also been kind of learning along with everybody else. So I'm getting deep in the weeds. We're trying. Yeah.
No doubt. No, I appreciate it because I learn something new every time we do this segment. So very cool to see. Might have to start doing some on 600 micros, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, since we didn't have any revved up reactions, unfortunately, it takes us to the end of our show. Short and sweet tonight, but did want to, again, just give all the thanks and credit to everybody. And before Blair gets into our special guest announcement for next week, I know I'm pumped for that one. I'll let Blair share that secret. I don't want to spoil the fun, but yeah, just appreciate all of you guys. And if you haven't caught on yet, Blair and I try to keep, without a guest, we try to keep them a little bit shorter than, the previous years of 2 hours plus. We know you guys are busy just like we are. So we hope that we're giving you good content and everything. And like I said, if there's something you want to see or hear, please drop us a line either on our personal pages or the Scrub and Tires media page, or even better yet, call into Revved Up Reactions and drop us a line there. That'd be great too. But we see you guys on the YouTube page, on the Facebook page but during and after the live streams, and then of course on all the various podcasting platforms. So keep up the viewership. We appreciate all you guys. If you haven't already, go get your merch. Scrub and Tires Media, Hitting the Chip, and Throwin Sliders podcast merch. And be sure and go check out our presenting partner, like I said, RacingRowdyRanch.com. For those of you who are late or maybe hearing it late, giveaway. I will post that on the Racing Rowdy Ranch Facebook and Instagram pages with all the details on how to win this cool hat right here. All yours. All you got to do is like the post, share the post, and comment RRR on the post to signify you've done the 2 items before that. We'll put your name into a random wheel generator, and our guest that Mr. Blair is about to announce will pick the winner live on air next Monday night. So I will pass to Blair and to give these people what they want. And it's for me to shut the hell up and for you to tell them who's going to be on the podcast next week.
First things first, before we end this episode, you lied to me, Brandon. This is
What's that?
the shirt. I was going to change it. I've been bacon neck the whole fucking night.
I honestly haven't even
It's starting
noticed.
to get saggier.
Wow. So are these.
But
The longer
no,
we go, that they keep going south, the longer the episode.
your balls are by your knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey, shout out Kyle Larson. We had he won on Sunday anyway. So
Nice. Special guest coming up, Chase Picola, 600 driver. You might have seen him at the Tulsa Shootout last year, putting on the podium. He's a good kid. He's actually worked with me at Rusty Wallace even before he was supposed to. I didn't know that, but been around and lives actually down the road from me, which is ironic. I had no idea until we started running on dirt. So, hey, this kid's he bombs it around, does a good job, and nice kid, and very successful in what he's doing already. Just going to be graduating high school, or just graduated high school, and so it'll be fun to talk to him, see where he's going, what he's done, and they race all the time, all over the place. So I know he started in quarter midgets, and then switched to the dirt. So we'll talk to him about that, and it should be a fun time.
yeah, absolutely. Like you nailed it. Racing family. If you keep up with their racing pages, man, I swear, like Blair said, they're going somewhere out of state every weekend, racing the local shows and stuff. So like to pick his brain on all that. Super excited to have Chase on here next Monday, the 17th. So if you're watching live or go back and listen to us later, definitely tune in, share that one. Especially not saying the older guests that we have aren't as important, but it's also racing is a youth movement, right? We want to get the younger crowd and the younger crowd continuing to go and spotlight them. Because they are the future of racing, right? Like, once all of us old geezers are gone and dead, it's on them to carry it. So just like the generations before us. So I like when we have the younger guys and gals on, talk about their successes and their future, because it's cool to see. And you never know, one of these little kids could I call them little, he's 18 years old, but
that's kind of the rules. Probably 18 for this show, because you just never know what I'll say. I don't need to be getting sued.
Oh God, yeah, here we go. Get canceled.
I know we've had some requests for some young kids, but we kind of keep it at that. So I hope everybody knows it's that's just kind of where we're at.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you never know when one of these young men or women could go pro and be an honor to, kind of showcase that early on in their careers. And Chase might be one of those. So
his brother's doing good too. I didn't mean to leave him out. He's a little bit younger, but he's a wheelman too. I saw he had a good finish this weekend at Port City. So real racing family, and we'll find out. I'm sure he'll talk about him a little bit too. So
yeah. And it seems like they're neck and neck too. They've been 1 and 2, 2 and 1 a lot. So, but yeah, I'll pass it back to you, Blair, for your closing statements, and we'll call her a night.
No, I just hope everybody that if you're watching this and listening, I know we get a lot on Spotify after. Facebook's been, everybody's busy and stuff, but if you could share it with your friends and racers, dirt track guys. I've been meeting guys from all over the country and racing with them. So we pick some of those up, say, hey, we checked it out, we're a fan. Just like the same shit we do, racing and anything. So help us out there, share it. I know Mondays are a little bit tough right now, but with our schedule, and I know me, by Tuesday I'm back working on the car and trying to catch the Hitting the Chip podcast as I'm working on it, and then we're back on the road Fridays and Saturdays. So it's tough, but we appreciate everybody tuning in, sharing, helping us, buying the merch from you. I love the brand, so I'm also been a fan of that, even though I get to see you building the business alongside of it. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And just get people to bite on it, because it is cool stuff. And as I mentioned, I think it was last week, got some very cool patch designs coming, hopefully in the next month or so. I know Blair's excited for one of those, and it's going to put some smiles on some faces, I think, with the PLP, which I'm not going to announce what that is. But anyway, as Blair mentioned, and I mentioned it too, we know you can't catch every single episode live, which totally understandable. We like to engage with you all. That's why we switched to live. But we do see you on the back end, all the views, all the clicks, all the plays. So it does mean a lot to us, and keep it rolling. Like, share, comment, subscribe to our YouTube page as well. And with that, appreciate that. Looking forward to Chase coming on next Monday. Like I said, be sure and get those questions ready. We'll have Give Me Some Lovin' segment for him. Ask him anything you want that's PG to PG-13 rated, and we'll get him on the screen for you. So with that, yeah, well, rated R. We'll see. We'll see what.
We don't need any hard R's on this show. We tell ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. We don't need that. Honestly, I don't think we've tested the water too much yet, but I think that would be the end of Scrubbing Tires Media. So
I'm just talking about the ratings, Brandon. I don't know what you're talking about. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway. All right. Well, you all have a great rest of your week. Be sure and check out the Hitting the Chip podcast with Jake and Jordan tomorrow. Give them the same love and appreciation that you do for us and the whole media platform. So with that, signing off. And I'm going to use Blair's that he used last week. Instead of keep scrubbing those tires, keep throwing those sliders. Biatch. We out. This has been another episode under Scrubbin' Tires Media. Creator and producer of Scrubbin' Tires Media is Brandon Hall. The Hitting the Chip podcast is hosted by Jacob and Jordan Smith. The Throwin Sliders podcast is hosted by Blair Cooper and Brandon Hall. Video and audio creator is Bryce Holcomb. Intro and outro music is owned and produced by Young Troubadour on YouTube. All episodes were created using StreamYard. Thanks for watching, listening, and supporting Scrubbin' Tires Media. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, keep scrubbing those tires.